Hi, I'm Joe from the old garage. What we're going to talk about today is how to make a spark tester. The other day, I was reading a magazine. In that magazine was an interesting article about where they made a spark tester. Here's the article here. And they showed you how to make one. So I said, oh, that sounds pretty cool. I have a number of different ones I bought over the years. But I thought it'd be cool to make my own. So I did exactly that. The first one I made looked like this. Took a piece of plastic pipe cap and a screw, brass screw, and a spark plug, and I made this spark tester. I followed their pattern, hooked this to ground, put the wire on here, and you get a spark in there. And that was pretty cool, but I thought there should be a simpler one that I could show you how to make. This is a little bit simpler one I made. I took a spark plug, and you can use any spark plug, preferably the one you're going to be testing the, from the car you're going to be testing the spark from. And I've removed the side electrode. I drilled a hole, and I can screw that in one side of the pipe fitting. And I just simply taken a brass wood screw, screwed it in the other side. I used a brass screw. You can use a steel screw, whatever you want. And now this is spark tester. Doesn't get much easier than that. So does it work? Well, let's see if it works. We can test it here. I have a coil, right? This is a coil on plug coil from a Jeep Liberty. I can put my spark tester in there. Spark plug in first, obviously. Turn that so you can see it. Now I have my booster pack here I'm going to use to power this. First I got to hook up the power to it. Now I'm going to hook up the ground. And these jumper wires I have, they all use banana jacks, which makes it a lot easier. I'm going to take my alligator clip on my jumper wire, put it on the ground screw there, and I'm going to attach that over here to the ground on my booster pack, so that's grounded. And I'm going to ran power to my coil, and I ran ground to my coil. One of the things you're going to see here, I have a condenser in here. That's necessary to get a decent spark. Without that condenser, you don't really get a good spark. And now I'm just going to make and break the ground, and we should see a spark in there. You can see the spark. And I can adjust the screw to make the gap larger or smaller, depending on the coil I'm testing. In an older points type ignition, you'll need a smaller gap. Modern high energy ignition, yes, you can do it. This is a coil on plug coil out of a 2007 Jeep Liberty. You make a wider gap so you get a more better test of the spark. And that's all I did in order to build my spark tester. Like I said, I read about it in that magazine. I thought it'd be a cool project to build. And you can make one too. All you need, right, like I said, this is a coupling from plastic coupling from PVC pipe, a wood screw, and an old discarded spark plug. And, of course, a jumper wire to run to the ground. All things I think most people either have available to them or can find laying around somewhere. A lot of people have it already in their shop. So my name's Joe Conway, and I'm from the old garage. And Have a nice day.